Right. So these are the three roles. The first role is called product owner, as I said. Most of the times, being a business analyst, we wear this hat because our role is more nearer to the product owner role. Mostly, I can say. So wherein here we define the goal and vision of the product. That is what generally being a product owner we do. Next, whatever the communication of requirements we write, that requirement communication will be written in a form of writing epics and user stories. Okay, not documents. We don't prepare BRDs, all that. So we write epics and user stories is what we do. Next, product backlog. Product backlog means there must be a repository to store all the user stories. So that's what generally we call it as product backlog. So product backlog is a repository to store all the user stories. This is the first role. Second role, Scrum team. Scrum team, nothing but it's a combination of development and testing team. Means both developers, testing team, user interface designers. All these people will be there in the Scrum team. These people are responsible to complete the task. Means whatever the development task, right? Either it can be coding, it can be testing, it can be user interface designs, right? So everything will be done by the Scrum team. It's a combination of, right? Normally, every team consists of 7 to 8 people, developers, everybody. So these people, that's what I said in the beginning. It must be a group activity. No individual tasks or no individual performances will be taken into consideration. It's a group activity. It must remains the same. This is where generally Scrum team, it's combination of it, and their responsibility to complete the task within the stipulated time. That's what Scrum team stands for. The third was Scrum Master. So Scrum Masters are the people who are responsibility to manage the Scrum team. That's what Scrum Master responsibility is. So being a person who is working as a Scrum Master, more or less like a project manager kind of role, but there is a difference because project manager has an authority, right? So work breakdown structure or assigning the task, right? So all these things will be done by the Scrum project manager. But whereas as far as Scrum Master itself is concerned, it is not the case because Scrum Master doesn't have any authority over the team because this is an individual responsibility which team has to decide what to do, what work can be done and all that, right? So Scrum Master is only a facilitator. That's the reason why Scrum Master will be acted as a facilitator to facilitate the team because if there is any impediments they have identified, clarifications over these impediments, everything will be done by the Scrum Master. So Scrum Master role is more or less like a managing the team. Means, for example, if there are around 5 to 6 people, how much time these people can spend to complete the task, right? Effort estimation, right? So at the same time, once they start working on the project, we must be knowing about the progress of work. For that, preparing some burn-down charts, burn-up charts. Next, velocity. Velocity means based on the previous work, what they have completed. What is that they can do in coming future, right? How much work they can complete in coming days. To calculate that, it's all comes under velocity, right? Velocity calculation, all that. So this velocities, all these things will be done by the Scrum Master. So Scrum Masters, more or less, as I said, they are the one who will be there to track the progress of work. Everything will be done by the Scrum Masters, followed by velocity, etc. All that. So these are the three different roles you can see in Agile. You don't see it in the traditional practices, but as we see this in Agile. This is what Agile stands for. Now, here is a question you can ask me, then what is Scrum then? Because sometimes I have used a word called Scrum. Sometimes I'm saying Agile. Sometimes Scrum. What was that? See, Agile is a methodology or a process. I told you earlier. But when we want to adopt this process or a methodology, there must be some processes and frameworks which are involved in it. Right. So because Agile, if you see, Agile is a methodology or a process, it has some value systems. But these value systems, if you want to implement, there must be a pipeline to move on. That pipeline is nothing but Scrum, right? It can be Scrum, it can be anything, right? So there are a lot many things. We have Scrum, we have Kanban, we have XP, we have DSDM, we have Lean process, we have RUP, right? So different Scrum processes, frameworks, and all everything are there. So somebody follows Scrum, somebody follow Kanban, somebody follow XP, somebody follow DSDM. End of the day, everybody should confine and everybody should be under Agile value systems. There shouldn't be any deviation in that. But somebody follows Scrum, somebody follow Kanban and all that. Here is one more question, because most of the people, whoever have a knowledge over this, will have this question for sure. Raj, we heard more about Scrum. If it is the case, I'm saying, if this is the case, some people can ask me, right? So why we have heard about more about Scrum earlier or even, but we haven't heard about anything called Kanban, DSDM, all that. Why? What was the reason behind that? The reason is prominency, because especially in the field of Agile, especially in the field of IT, especially in the field of Agile, if you see, whenever we follow the frameworks and processes, when we follow, Agile has more success rate comparing to Kanban, etc., etc. I don't say that those are not useful, especially in the field of IT. Scrum is more comfortable to develop the team because Scrum has different things, like you have sprint, you have user stories, right? So you have a product backlog, you have timelines, right? So this is more or less people who wants to transform from the traditional practices to Agile. This is more of useful. This is more of use. Which one? Agile is more useful. Scrum is more useful, and Scrum is easy, in fact. But other areas, other Kanban and all everything will be used in a different way, because Kanban, all these processes are used in the lean process, especially people who are working on manufacturing side will be known well. For example, if you see in Kanban, if you see manufacturing sector, for example, production of a product, right? Producing a product is what it was. So production of a product will happen in different stages, right? If you see now, if you see the present manufacturing process, if you have seen, observed, there is a systematic way of production or producing a product is happening nowadays, right? So there will be a conveyor belt, you can see. So whatever is required and whatever is needed there, for example, you are manufacturing a car. Once the design of the car was done, electrification of work will be done at one stage, at one segment. Whereas assembling of the parts and all everything, either by humans or robots, whatever it is happening in other. So there is a structure of process which happens on that line of turbine, right? So you can see that, right? So nowadays you see, but earlier it was not the case. Earlier there are different departments. Coordination among these departments will be more difficult earlier. The production time will be more earlier. Earlier it was, that's where generally there is a concept called just in time. I'm not getting into that because that's a different explanation. I'm not getting into, but I'm just comparing why Kanban, because the reason I'm saying is. So earlier production time is more, especially for manufacturing units. When production time is more, automatically manpower cost increases. and whatever the raw material they were using, right? So nut bolts and all everything, that wastage will also be more earlier. So because of that, what used to happen? Production cost increases. They have to increase the cost. So competitiveness, because in competition, we have to sell the product for the higher cost. After that, they have implemented a process called lean process. I think you might have heard about it. Lean process is more or less like agile, because lean process we highly used in the manufacturing side rather than IT. Use lean process, because one of the people whoever is implemented this lean process called Toyota. In the beginning days, Toyota manufacturers, car manufacturers, they have implemented this lean process. This is where generally lean Kanban come into picture. Means whatever is required, you are taking and you are doing it. It is something simply lean process and Kanban, how it works. I'll tell you in a real-time example so that you guys can understand. But Scrum won't work like that. But Kanban likes this. Kanban will be like this. For example, you went to McDonald's or somewhere, any fast food, this thing, right? So you go there. You go to the counter. You see the list of items, food items, which are available on screen. You see. You simply order it. Order will be taken by another end person. Whatever the order you have ordered, that will be again going back to the pantry there. The products were already right. Those are all readily making it everything ready. So that person uh, uh, will prepare whatever the food items which is required instant, right? Those are all instant ones. Mostly instant ones will be prepared, and that will be put it on the tray. Being an individual or a group of people, we are going there, we are taking those products and we are eating. And if you want, again, you are ordering. So the process is a chain process. So whatever is required, you are going, you are ordering it. Maybe in another 5 or 7 minutes or 8 minutes, you get the product, you get the items. You are taking these items. Whenever you require, again, you are going and you are ordering it. This is where Kanban model works. This Kanban model is mainly suitable for the manufacturing side, not for the application development. So the reason why implementation as well as usage of Kanban will be less in percentage when you follow Scrum, because Scrum has a different structure. Because Scrum, for application development, for the field of IT application development, Scrum is majorly useful because of the structure of the Scrum it was. But whereas when it comes to Kanban and all everything, it was not the case. Kanban has a different structure, as I told you. This is mainly useful in the manufacturing side, because in the manufacturing side, they don't want to waste the time. Wastage of time shouldn't be there, right? So if wastage of time is more, automatically it leads to the production cost will also get increased, right? So in order to avoid all that, they follow Kanban model there, right? So Kanban structure is different, like that. DSDM, RUP, right? So we have XP, extreme programming. So different processes frameworks are there in the field of IT, especially in the field of Agile, all that. So majorly why we use Scrum, because of the prominency as well as the comfortability. So how this can be implemented in application development using Jira, that I am going to show you from tomorrow onwards. Is it clear, Geeta, Lakshmi and Taha? Mohammed, sorry.
Yes, it's clear.
Right. So tomorrow I'm going to explain about this in practical way. Right. On Jira, I will show you so that you will be understood how different Scrum you will be knowing practical, because I cannot explain it theory, because it looks very pale, right? So because it won't understood much effective, right? So once if I show it on Jira board, so that you will be more, it is more understandable to you guys. That I will.
Should we download it and keep it for tomorrow?
Sorry?
Should we download Jira and keep it?
You don't need to download Gita. You can, it's a cloud version of course. Let me show you. It's
Okay.
a cloud
Okay.
version.
I can.
You don't need to download. You can simply register using your Gmail account and keep it with you.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
It is easy. Hardly takes. You give your Gmail. You get a 30 days trial version. It will be like this. Go to Jira board. You can see start 30-day free trial. It will ask
Okay.
you about your Gmail account. Register. You get a 30 days trial version. Simple. That's it.
Got it. Understood.
I will do it from my side so that you can do the practice later. No problem.
Sure.
Okay. That way.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay then. See you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.